Dr. Teresa Bristol, and I am a physical therapist, an entrepreneur, own my own private practice here in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been in business for myself now for about 6.5 years. And, this last several months, I've kind of been propelled to move into a different direction. So I'm excited to discuss that a little bit more in detail. But I do hope that this conversation that we have today, this evening, will be enlightening. As a matter of fact, I said a prayer. I hope that it will bring something positive to the lives of our listeners, that it will bless your homes, your hearts, and it will be ultimately life-changing. We are here today to share in dialogue as it relates to quite a few hot topics. But I would like to start with something has been very encouraging to me. When I was in college, I recited this poem by Langston Hughes called Dreams. And if you look around in my space, you'll see I actually put that in my workspace on the walls. And I walk in that literally every day. I think if you don't have a dream, something that, that may not have came to fruition yet, but something that makes your heart pound and makes you want to get up every day and fight for whatever that thing is, then I don't know, life can be pretty empty without it. So I would like to start out by reciting a little bit of that poem here. Just bear with me. My camera is wanting to be crazy. And then we will bring our guest on board. I had this ready and I did something. Okay, I think I got it. Trying to show y'all my dreams. See there? Look what happens when I show you my dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams go, life is a barren field, frozen in snow. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all for joining us. We are about 4 minutes past our start time, so I would like to go ahead and move forward and bring in my guest, Dr. Yabo. She looks like she's on board. And when you're ready, Dr. Yabo, can you send me an invitation to invite you in so we can get started? Dr. Yabo is a board certified pediatrician, and she and I met virtually actually a few months ago, and we have been quite the pair ever since then. So I am excited and anxious actually for her to join us. So I need to figure out where. Okay, here it is. So I think that should bring you in now.
Oh, good. Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. You kept saying your request wasn't sent, and I'm like, what is going on? How are you? Hi, everyone.
I'm good. I was looking for it because I'm used to it popping up on the screen, but for some reason this time I didn't see it. So
yeah, I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Technology.
I know. Technology. Hi, Dr. Jumoke. Hi, Motis. Hi, everyone. How are you all doing? Yeah.
Hello.
We're here. Dr. Bristol, I'm glad to be on with you.
I'm so excited, man. I'm nervous. My hands are shaking. I got my business coach on the other side, and we are in front of all these people. I gotta shine, right?
You don't need to be nervous. You are fine. I'm here with you, and we have all these wonderful people on with us who just want to, hear some tips and just have fun with us, right? So yeah, you are fine.
Yes, we want to make this hopefully a insightful evening full of fun and share some good information. Dr. Yabo, you are, looks like kind of spinning a little bit. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
I guess we can just wait just a little bit. Hello, everyone. We appreciate you coming on board. My name is Dr. Teresa Bristol. I'm a physical therapist, entrepreneur, soon to be children's book author. Hope to publish it by this summer. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Yes, and I am joined by my colleague, my coach, my friend, my mentor, boss lady, entrepreneur, you name it. She wears so many hats.
I do.
She
I
is
do. I do.
truly the trailblazer of women, and it is just remarkable to have you on my side and my team. And I'm so grateful to have met you and had the opportunity for our lives to come together as it has
Yeah.
in the recent past.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really grateful too that we met. Really, really grateful. Yes.
Okay. What I would like to do to start out, your bio is really impressive. So I want to do justice by it. So I would, do you mind taking a moment and sharing a little bit of information about your background?
Yes, sure, of course. So some of you may already know about me. I think some of you on this live have met me already. You already follow me. You know a little about me, but I'll keep it brief so that we can just carry on. So my name is Dr. Yabo Webzel. I'm a pediatrician, a board certified pediatrician. I own and manage my own private practice in Atlanta, and it's 17 years old. So I'm an entrepreneur. And if, again, I say this all the time, like a broken record, if I could convert every woman in the world into an entrepreneur, I would. I know some people never want to be an entrepreneur, but I'm telling you, it has a lot of advantages. I'm also a business and lifestyle coach. I've been mentoring for many, many years. I guess I've been mentoring for 20-something years, but I finally started coaching formally last year. I'm a lifestyle blogger. My blog is on my website. I'm also an author. I have one published book on Amazon. It's called Permanent Happiness. I'm a speaker. I love to speak. I've spoken 3 times at the United Nations. I'm also on the board of Flow Health, which is the largest women's wellness app. And I'm a wife. I got remarried last year after 10 years of divorce, and we have 4 kids amongst us. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's
in a nutshell.
Pretty amazing. You know, I believe in divine intervention, and I you know, sometimes you wonder like why certain things happen. And so I don't know if you recall, but right at the beginning of the pandemic, I got an email from someone from Flow, and they were inquiring about, you know, me coming on board and doing some stuff for women who were having back problems, who were dealing with pregnancies and, you know, thereafter.
Yeah.
And I knew nothing about them at the time, so I started researching and I came across your name.
Oh, is that how we met?
You didn't know it, but that's how I started following you on Instagram, because I started researching Flow. Yes.
Okay.
I started researching Flow and I found your name and your information, and then I started looking a little further. You know, you got to do your homework when you don't, you know.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
There's value there. And so I started following you, and that's how I started seeing how really amazing you are. And so that's how ultimately we became, you know, connected. And interesting enough, Flo and I never went any further than that. But apparently the purpose was not for me to interact with Flo, but it was for me to connect to you.
Yes, and that's a learning point. I always tell people that you have to be open to things, and you have to be vigilant and present. Because if you weren't present to actually see, you know, that woman, let me check out, we would never have met. So it's very important for us to be present wherever we are.
Exactly. So out of all of your amazing accomplishments, you've done quite a bit. And one of the things that I noticed is that you have been named in the top 10 business coaches on Yahoo Finance. So tell me, in your all of your accomplishments, especially starting out as a pediatrician and owning your own practice, what led you to ultimately become a business coach?
So that moment was in December of 2015, when my life had that major shift from, of course, I'm still a pediatrician, but when my dad passed in October of 2015, that's when I believe that I had a spiritual shift or some spiritual awakening. I was my dad's baby and he was my superhero. So when he passed, it was a big hit for me. So anyway, cut long story short, I started journaling. I started writing. I wrote 2 books back to back in a period of 2.5 months. I wrote one book that was 60,000 words in 6 weeks. And then I wrote another one at the back of that, and I haven't published the second one. So anyway, I just started writing. It was like there was some spiritual download going on in my brain. So I started writing, I wrote, then I published my first book. Then when I published it, I met somebody who introduced me to somebody at the UN because he came to one of my book signings and he heard me speak and heard my passions for permanent happiness and for women and children. So he invited me to the UN, and that was my first speaking engagement at the UN in 2017. And then I was invited back in 2018 3 times. So when all that started happening, when my writing journey happened and I published my book, I became active on social media. So I went from just mentoring, and because I've been teaching medical students for a long time, so I went from mentoring medical students to being this person who was influencing women on social media. I was getting tons of messages about how they loved my work. Anyway, my social media journey started in 2017. And then it was just building up and up and up, and all these DMs and questions. And then last year I thought to myself, I think it was the pandemic. I'm like, you know what? My practice numbers have gone down a little bit. Maybe I should start making money from this rather than giving all this free advice to women that I've been doing for years. I'm going to become a coach. So I became a coach, and I set some goals for myself, and I surpassed those goals in the first 3 months. So that's my journey. My journey of coaching started from all of that. Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
Before we go further, I hear you well, but you're buffering quite a bit on your video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you look really clear to me. Should we ask people? So the audience, though, how do Dr. Bristol and I sound? Do I sound muffled, or is my picture muffled? Because I can hear you and see you clearly. Yeah. Can somebody tell us how the video and the audio is?
Okay.
Yeah.
They say we both are clear. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
they said it's perfect. Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, with your very interesting story. So with your download for the books, you talk about how, especially during that time when your father passed away, you had this like pouring into you basically, and words just came out. And you also speak about that in like when you write your blogs and when you have your messages that you deliver to social media.
Yeah.
How does that feel like? What is that like? Can you describe to me what it's like to get that download?
What does it feel like?
How do you connect with it? How do you make it into something that's productive?
So that very first time it started happening, I was alone at home. I hadn't bought a house. We were in an apartment on the 6th floor. It was during the daytime, and I've been a journaler for many years. So I was just journaling in my book, and something just asked me to pick up my laptop instead. So I picked up my laptop and I started typing. And literally, it was a download into my brain. So what I would do is, as the download is happening, like the chapters I had to write, I would literally have to start writing the topics and the points down so I didn't forget them. So I began to have downloads early in the morning. I began to have downloads in the shower. And I began to have downloads. I used to ride Uber a lot at that time because I don't like Atlanta highways. I used to have a lot of downloads sitting in the Uber in the back seat. So I would always take my iPad with me. And it's still happening to me till now. When I wake up early in the morning, something comes into my consciousness like, oh, write about this or post about this. And I feel before my dad passed, before he even knew I was a writer, because he passed before I wrote, he used to tell me a lot of stories about some of his family in the past that were really good writers. I didn't make anything of it. I didn't. I was just like, oh, they were, because my dad was a storyteller. He loved to tell stories. I guess that's where I got this from. He was a very quiet and kind of like an introvert, but he loved to tell stories. So he always used to tell me about many people in his background, in his family, that were really good writers back then. And I just said, oh, great. I didn't. So I feel like there's probably some hereditary part of me that is a writer. And I think his passing just brought that out. So yeah, that's why now I really cherish my quiet time, because when I'm in my quiet time, oh my goodness, it's like I'm so creative. In the shower, sometimes I have to have a notepad on the side so that I can really quickly write the points so I don't forget.
And I think that sharing your gift and finding the space to be creative is really important. And I think a lot of times we get so busy with life and taking care of everything else that you don't have, or we don't allow ourselves to have that quiet time. And I feel like for me during this pandemic, that has been a great blessing. It's a curse for this world, obviously, but I feel like if we can take this opportunity to capitalize on it and gain or grow our strengths and make our superpowers even bigger, that we can do so much more. And so you talked about your quiet time and how things kind of really come out of you at that time. And so I would like to kind of talk about what it's like to find that space of creativity and how you would encourage other people to be able to figure out how they can put themselves in a space so they can truly bring out, like you did, your writing gift per se.
Yes.
And how it has evolved into you being on the top 10 coaches on Yahoo Finance, right?
Yes. Yes. So I don't know how many people are on this live now. I'm not sure, 15, 20 people. Out of the people on this live, I'm pretty sure at least a third of you can be excellent writers. You just haven't tapped into that gift. A third of you can be excellent writers. And honestly, it is because we live in such a chaotic world that people cannot be really good writers. So it is important. We all have creative gifts. This is why you'll find some people in some parts of the world that have never gone to school, right, Dr. Bristol? They never had the opportunity to have an education, and they are really successful in business. They're wealthy. They've built wealth. My mom was one of those. My mom was born in 1932. And then at that time, women in Nigeria, some, not all, some women didn't go to school. My mom didn't go to school, but she was a very successful businesswoman. She had several income streams. She did business with my dad. They owned many homes, not just in Nigeria, but even in London. So that's because she knew what her creative gifts were. Education is very important. I'm not saying we shouldn't go to school, but God is such a good God that when we were born, he gave all of us gifts. I know that my writing gifts didn't come out till I was 45. But before 45, I was tapping into my gifts because I have the gift of, I'd say that I have the gift of persistence. I'm a very determined person. I'm a very consistent person. So once I decide on a goal, the thing is, I'm the opposite of a procrastinator. I don't, once I decide on a goal, I don't ask too many people. I just start to go for it. So and my organizational skills, I'm very organized. So I had used that all my life, but then at 45, brought out my writing gift. So a lot of us get just, we let life take over. We let the simplicity of life turn into a complex life, and we can't make use of our creative gifts. So honestly, my goal is to help women determine those free gifts that God gave them, so they can use those gifts to change the world. And a lot of women are not ready. They don't know how, because they let the troubles of life and the chaos of life just bog them down, right? Mm-hmm. So, quiet time is so important. If you don't have quiet time, you're not going to be creative. And I know you're going to say you have young kids, they're running around. Get a babysitter so you can have, a few free hours of quiet time a week. But yeah, that's another topic for another day. Yes. So if you want to be creative, you have to carve out that quiet time and that quiet space in your house. Yeah, it's very important.
Yes. I agree with you. It's interesting that even sometimes when I'm just walking around in the house, I posted something the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I got this thing said posted, and I was like, oh, really? And under normal circumstances, I would have pushed that way back, and not follow through with it. But I realized there was something that could be very beneficial to a whole lot of other people. And I think a lot of times people see the outside, they see the shell, they see the car, they see the stuff, but they don't really know all of what has made us into who we are today.
Yeah.
And also what it has taken for us to be able to bring our natural gifts out of us to be able to make it to where we are in life. There was something that I thought about in regards to the training. You talked about school and education and how important it is. We kind of thought, I think when I was in school over 20 years ago, that this was going to be it. I was going to be a physical therapist and I was going to be set. I was going to have this great life, fairy tale thing of married and children. Didn't have that. But, I thought I would be set. I would be happy. I would be content. I wasn't thinking about anything else. And then you realize, okay, 10 years into it, okay, what next? I'm 20 years into it, but I think a lot of us, we just don't prepare for or even think about like what is going to be the next thing beyond what we're doing today. We graduate from college, we think we've got it, and now we think that's it. We're smooth sailing, put it on cruise control, and that's it. You wake up and you're 48 like me, and you think, am I really want to crawl around on the floor with kids for the rest of my life, even though I love them? Is that really what I want to do? So, it's quite interesting to see where I am today. So I encourage people, if you have dreams about becoming business owners, or if you have something inside of you, some creative gift or thought, that you should, like Dr. Yabo said, try to pull it out and figure it out. And then what would you recommend at that point? Once people try to figure out what their gift is and figure out, what direction they should go in, what type of steps would you recommend?
So many people don't even know how to figure out their gifts. That's the problem. A lot of people, first of all, there's a big chunk of people, even in the doctor world, that say, I don't have any other gifts. And that is one statement that I hope nobody ever makes around me, because I'm going to say, no, don't let God hear that. Don't say that, because everybody has at least one or a few creative gifts. Some people will say, oh, I don't have any gifts. I can never start a business because I don't have any gifts. I'm like, you need to hire me as your coach, because every single person on the face of this earth has a creative gift. Yes. We think of creative gifts as, oh, a painter. We think of it more as like things you do with your hands. Not always. Your creative gift could be that you're a team leader. Your creative gift could be that you're a good teacher, or when people, when they have loved ones that pass away, you have a good way of grief counseling. It could be that you have really good organizational skills. You could be a good interior designer. There's creativity is not just using a hand. So I always want to talk to women about what we're talking about now, because your 20s and your 30s go by really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I can promise you that when you're in middle age, like Dr. Bristol and I'm 50, she's 48, every woman goes through that. Somewhere around late 30s to 50, they go through, is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? At least we even own our businesses, right? We are even in a better position. But a lot of women who are employees, by the time they're 50, they're like, am I really going to be waking up at 5 a.m. to be going to somebody's office to be an employee? Am I really going to be doing this for the rest of my life? Really? Do I still have to keep applying for vacation 6 months in advance? Right. I mean, is it 100K that I'm going to keep, student? What kind of life is this? So I urge women not to wait till that time. I started my practice when I was 33, going on 34. And I'm glad I started then, because I was born into an entrepreneurial family. A lot of women don't think about that, especially the ones who are like lawyers, doctors. They feel they're comfortable, they will be fine. But by the time you get to middle age, you're like, really, am I going to continue? And then you start seeing all the young people become CEOs and become like, big, people ahead of you. And you're thinking, what kind of life is this? And by that time, you may feel too tired to start a business. So, and then especially with the pandemic, this is even like 1000% showing us that you have to recalibrate and you have to reset, because our lives are not going to go back to the same. So if you were never even thinking of entrepreneurship, this is the time to think about it. And isn't it even the easiest time to start a business?
It is the time. There are so many opportunities. And to capitalize on. My friends and I, we were just talking. My family came in town for my birthday in October. One of my friends, Rhonda, surprised me with my family coming in town. It was a great time. But we were talking even then about multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
And I was telling them, I said, y'all, this is the time we need to sit down. We need to have more than one way for money to come into our households.
Yes.
Because you never know what may happen. Being one person, that's one thing, because if something happens to you, that's it. But even if you have a spouse or you have, other options for income, something can happen. Somebody could pass away. We saw COVID-19 take away not one family member, but 2 and 3 and 4 at one time, or in close time periods. And so to have ways not only for you to have multiple streams of income, but to build generational wealth. So if you do have children or nieces and nephews, in my case, so they wouldn't have to, they can stand on our shoulders. So what's your thoughts about multiple streams of income, and when should we as people start thinking about even doing that? Should it be in the 20s and the 30s?
Whoever is listening to this live now, or whoever listens to the replay of this live, and you're more than 18 years old, you should be thinking of income streams. My daughters are 17 and 23, and I'm already there. Obviously, they're going to be entrepreneurs. They've been saying it for a long time. Mom, we're not working for anybody, because grandma and grandpa were entrepreneurs, and you own your own business. We're not working for any. In fact, my daughter, my 23-year-old, she's like ready now. She hasn't even graduated yet. She's already thinking of all these businesses. So the time that you start thinking of multiple income streams is now that you're hearing me talk. Whenever you hear this, it is time to do that, because it is so crucial. I can name, I'm a very open person because I want to help people. When I'm sleeping, I'm making money from my books. My books sell constantly. It's not a big bestseller, but it brings in income. I sell from my books. People pay me to speak. Right? I don't speak that often, but people have paid me and pay me to speak. So that's another income stream. I work for Flow Health, and all I do for Flow Health is I edit pediatric articles. So it's like easy for me. It's what I already know. I do it in the comfort of my home, and I get paid a lot of money by Flow Health because it is a really large company. So that was what, number 3. Number 4, now I'm coaching, right?
Yeah.
That's number 4, right? And then because of my blog, I can also write articles. I haven't started monetizing that, but I know that my blog will be monetizable soon. And my YouTube, I'm very close to monetizing my YouTube. And those are just the extra income streams. I have my pediatric practice, which is my main business that I've had for 17 years and is a very good 7-figure business. So if you're hearing this now, you should be thinking of multiple income streams. And if you don't know how to figure it out, that's what we're here for. Dr. Bristol and I are business coaches. Yes. Okay?
And you have been, I mean, just in the short time that we have known each other, I mean, y'all, I can't tell you how much stuff I wrote down in this book. I need another one already. I'm like, oh, I only have like a few more pages left, because you are just like, I mean, it flows out and I'm just writing it down and I'm checking off the list and it's leading me to the next thing. I'm scaling my business. I just hired an occupational therapist. I have 2 occupational therapists, speech therapists that are ready to actually now interview. So I'm scaling. I'm moving into a different direction. I'm launching my coaching business and an online course for those who are interested in starting their own business or restructuring something that's in existence that may not necessarily be working really well. So just that little bit of time of knowing and connecting with the right person. And I say this all the time, you know, I think our energy, eventually, if we listen and we pay attention to who we are, we take time to step away from the busyness of life and people, and we connect with who God has destined us to connect with, we will do what we're supposed to do. We will fulfill our purposes. Our dreams will become reality. Even things that we do not even know existed inside of us, God will bring it forth and he will bless it so that we are able to bless other people. So I really hope that you guys are open enough to take a chance, because even when I came to Dr. Yahoo, we had a conversation about, I got to pay how much now? Oh no, I just spent $30,000 on rebranding my business like 2 years ago. A lot of money, y'all. Got caught.
I wish you met me then. You would have paid a small fraction of that and I would have helped you. Oh,
and
my
all
goodness.
I got was a website. I got a website and I got a 200-page business plan, and y'all, for virtually $30,000. So
wow.
It really is important for you to take the time to know who you're connecting with and to know who you're investing in before you make that leap. Yeah. But I tell you, she is a wealth of knowledge. I mean, it pours out. When she talks about detail and committed, if I do something that's not right, she's gonna catch it. I can't even blink, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did she catch that already? She's just that amazing. So to have somebody who is, because I'm anal, my friends who are on here who know me, who know how dedicated I am, if I mess up and somebody else catch me before I catch myself, you know she's bad. So I'm just saying. But anyway, I am so grateful for God to have placed you in my path.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about, I know you've had a few journeys. You were married at one point, and then you had a period of being single, and then now you're remarried and united. I want you to tell me one thing that stands out in each season of your life, that in terms of discovery, your self-discovery.
Mm-hmm. So the point, and that's a really good question. The answer to that is so simple, because I have actually stayed the same person all through those phases. Mm-hmm. I'm sure if my ex was watching this, he would be thinking, Yabo hasn't changed. She's still the same person. So, and that is important in life. It's very, we do learn. I'm not saying I haven't learned lessons. I've learned a lot. I have grown a lot. I have a really big growth mindset. I can learn from anybody. I don't think I'm too big for anyone. I don't like people that try to bring other people down. That's not good, because I've had many of those around me. But I will learn from people. But the main thing is, we need to discover who we are and what really serves us well in life. It's not selfish to do that. So that as we are moving through phase, because life is bumpy. Life is bumpy, ups and downs and ups. You and I know that, it's like we're all in the hands of God. So that all through those times, you know that you're stable, you're grounded, and you're on solid ground, and you know what you stand for, and you know what your God-given assignment is. So that it's very important to be grounded as a human, because if you're not grounded, you're going to be swayed by the wind in many different directions. So my prayer for people and my hope for people is that you really discover who you are. You really discover what it is that you're on this earth for, what you love doing, what your mission and your purpose is in life, so that no matter what happens, whether you're in a terrible marriage or you lose loved ones. I've lost 3 family members in the last 12, 13 years. You have that grounded personality, and you have that peaceful personality that, things don't get you off balance too much. And I think that's a problem that I see in a lot of women, because a lot of people haven't really discovered who they are. They haven't discovered their mission and their life purpose. So then they just sway with the wind. It's like a wind blows them north and they move north with that wind. Another wind blows them east, they move east. So you can't let, marriage is very important. Being in a happy marriage is very important, but you don't need to lose yourself in the marriage. The reason that I got divorced was because I'd had enough, and I'm like, I think that I'm not going to be able to achieve my life purpose and my peace and my happiness in this situation. I've tried for many years. It's time for me to move on. So you get what I'm saying? I hope people understand what I'm talking about. You really have to find that grounding. Somebody says they feel so lost. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Casey. Well, can you send me a DM after we're done, and I'll chat with you, because I don't like to hear that. But if you feel like you're really depressed, or you're having suicidal ideations or anything that extreme, please call your primary care doctor. But if it's just that you feel a little sad, I'm happy to talk to you. Dr. Bristol is happy to talk to you. So you can send a DM to either of us. Okay, but yeah, men and women, not just women, because I know there's many men on this live. It's very important that, and if you don't know what your gifts are, you don't know what your life purpose or life mission are, find a life coach that is skilled in doing that. Like me, like Dr. Bristol. Yeah. Honestly, I believe that's one of my gifts. I had a new client yesterday that I coached, and I'm telling you, we've been texting all day because she's so excited.
She's excited.
She's a nurse, and she's like, you know what, Dr. Yabo, I knew all these things before, but how come I just never acted on them? How come? How come I didn't? I'm so glad I met you. I'm so glad. And I just smile, because it's a gift that I have of being able to talk to anyone and just say, but you can do this. This is your gift. Yeah. So, and the minute you find your gift and your purpose, Dr. Bristol, how does that feel? Doesn't that just make you feel so much better and so purposeful? Tell people how you feel, since we've been able to, work together. It's such a difference.
Yeah, it really is amazing. Just as the young lady said, she feels lost. I remember just maybe 9-10 months ago being in a very similar place, in a relationship that was broken, that didn't align with my purpose, that just I was unfulfilled, not happy, not creative, not just feeling empty, and just going along the course of life, because mainly in part because I wanted a family. I wanted a nuclear family. I wanted a husband. I wanted children, just like everybody else did. It didn't work out that way, so I stayed hoping that something would get better. But I tell you, when it finally clicked, and God gave me clarity that I should not be there, and that my purpose was not going to be fulfilled in that space, everything opened up. I bought my own home. I have a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house. You know, I have my cars paid for. I don't have any debt. I have I'm up to 2 o'clock in the morning because stuff will not start flowing out of my head. And it's just, I don't need anybody in my space necessarily. I feel I spent Christmas by myself and I felt happy. I made like 4-course meals by myself, and I entertained myself creatively with my family from Florida. I tell you, when you fall into your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
it's a joy that I can't even put into words. And there's
Yeah.
no man here. There are no children here. None of what I thought and dreamed I needed to be happy and to be fulfilled. Granted, I want a husband now, God. I'm telling you.
No, he knows you want it, and he will bring you a good man.
Yes, but I'm telling you, to be here is such an amazing feeling. I don't have any worries. I don't have any concerns. I'm living each moment to the fullest, and it's just a great feeling. So I do hope. I remember we did the Purpose Driven Life in one of my churches several years ago, and I felt like, well, I have no idea what my purpose is, and it's my purpose is so big. I believe it's multifaceted, and I don't think it's just like one thing.
Yeah.
But my purpose definitely is to connect to women and children, and to pour into them. And I think that even became more obvious for me in this season of being single and on my own. And so sometimes you don't always know exactly, literally, how that all comes together. What does that look like? How does it behave? But I truly believe that once you start getting a glimpse of what your purpose is, the more you walk towards it, the clearer the vision gets. And the more God will guide you towards what it is you're supposed to be doing. And the fulfillment, once you know you're in your purpose, that's when the fulfillment comes, when you're there.
Yes, yes. And it's also the best anti-aging. It's the best. People say I don't look 50, I look 35, I look 38, because I love what I do. I love what I do. However, I'm concerned about the lady here, Kesa D. So I have two pieces of advice for you, because it seems like you're, in a not in a good situation. You talked about drinking and smoking a lot because your ex had some bad influences on you. I want to advise you to please get a therapist as soon as possible. Get a therapist or a counselor as soon as possible. Once you start having sessions with that therapist, then you need a coach to plan your future. So the therapist is going to help you heal from everything that has happened in your past, and then moving forward, so you can have clarity and so you can have a clear vision, you need a coach. So I hope you will do those two things, because I can tell that you're in a lot of, you're not clear on what's going on. What's the word? I don't want to use any really negative word. Yeah, I can tell that you need help. You're shouting out for help. So please get that help. Please do. Yeah.
So, yeah, I do hope that you are able to find someone, Katie, that will match your personality in terms of finding a counselor as well. So the person that you're speaking to may not be a good match for you. If you can't open up to the counselor that you're seeing,
you find another one.
You need to leave them and find someone else. That's not a good fit for you. Okay. My pleasure. And we're here. Please DM us if you would like to discuss things and maybe even to give you some guidance. Question. If you could give single ladies one piece of advice, what would that be?
My lovely single ladies, for some reason I'm a magnet for single ladies. They love me. The single ladies between the ages of like 30 to like 50 something. Oh my goodness, I just attract them. And I love my single ladies. So one piece of advice. Let me think about the best one. Your happiness doesn't depend on whether you're single or whether you're married. So if you're unhappy right now as you're single, I guarantee you're going to stay unhappy when you're married. I guarantee you. So yeah, so your happiness doesn't depend on anybody. Being married isn't like the antidote or the passport to forever happiness. No. So that's really important. So right now, if you're single and you're hoping for that man to come so that you can get out of your sadness and your apathy and all of that, you need to fix that first. And how do you fix that? You find your purpose. Why are you on this earth? Marriage is not your assignment on this earth. God gave us all assignments on this earth. So find what makes you tick, find what makes you happy, find that thing that you can do to help other people so you can start to make a difference in other people's lives. Find your passion, your life purpose, your life mission. And then I'm telling you, it's like magic, like clockwork, that guy will come. Honestly, that guy will come out of when you're living your purpose and you've even forgotten about looking for a guy. That's when the guy will come. But if you're hyper focused on meeting a man and you think being married and having kids is going to bring you happiness, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be surprised. So I'm just telling you that now. You talk to married women, they'll tell you marriage is wonderful, but it's not the passport to happiness. You still have to work really hard to be happy. So that's what I'll tell them. Find what makes you happy now. Find your purpose now. Start working hard now. Start that business now. Start saving money and buy your own house now. I bought my own luxury home when I was single, and I stayed in it for a long time until I got married, and this is it now. My husband sold his house and we live here together. Dr. Bristol is single. She lives in a lovely luxury home too. Carry on with your life, make yourself happy, and the guy will come.
Yes. Awesome. Great advice. Very good. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. This is I think a pretty loaded question. If there was one thing that you could change in the world, what would that be and why?
Oh, that one's easy. That one's easy. If I could change one thing in the world now, it would be prejudice and racism. Yeah, it would be prejudice and racism. And you're going to be surprised by my answer. And many people may not like this, but that's just me. I think outside the box. And it's going to be racism in both directions. In both directions. Because, and I know I'm going to get many messages from this. That's fine. Write me and I'll tell you why. Because two wrongs don't make a right. Yeah. So we have to remember that even though as Black people, we were the ones that were wronged many years ago from slavery and this and that, and it's still happening today, institutional racism. I mean, look at the riots that happened, how they were treated, as opposed to, all of that. But we must search our hearts also and make sure that our hearts also are filled with love for all humanity. So that's what I would eradicate from the world. I would eradicate racism and prejudice in all directions. Black to white, white to Black. I would ask God, just lighten up everybody's hearts and let's just accept and love each other. Let's just accept and love each other, because there's hurt on both sides. And maybe because I'm African and I come from a neutral place, I can tell that in America, until there's healing on both sides and reconciliation on both sides, it's never going to, you know, work, because one side thinks the other one is wrong. The other one side thinks the other one is wrong. You wronged me, you wronged me. So two groups of hardened hearts, it's just never gonna solve the problem. So yeah, that's what I would remove forever if I could.
Yeah, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good. I know we are probably about 8 minutes before we'll have to wrap things up. Do you want to give our audience time to ask a few questions, or do you have anything you would like to ask me?
Do you guys have any questions for me? Any questions, relationship questions, business questions, branding questions, social media questions, online business questions? Any of those questions I'm glad to answer, because I get a lot of you guys in my DM every day. So I'm here now, you can ask me. There's a lot that I could talk about, but I just don't want to be rambling on if it's not what people want to hear. So if you guys have any questions about starting your business or how to build a powerful brand on social media, how to have a successful online business, please go ahead and ask. So we will give you a minute or so to start typing your questions. How do you grow your YouTube? Okay, Gino's, that's a very good question, because I have been on a learning curve with YouTube. Excellent questions. Simple things. Number one, make sure you have an eye-catching banner. I say it over and over, the whole world is visual. People like to see things that are flashy and beautiful and eye-catching. We're all visual people. So make sure you get a professional person to design a nice banner for you. Make sure that on your banner, you do have what it is that you're going to use to make people's lives better. If I don't know why I should stop at your YouTube channel, I'm not going to stop there. So, you know, I think you are a chef, right? So you can say Gino's Afro Cooking, 2 to 3 videos a week, teaching you how to cook healthy meals, teaching you how to stay healthy during the pandemic, or, you know, vegetarian meals. So your YouTube banner is number one. Make sure you have a nice professional picture on there, not just some picture that you took 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then your thumbnails. Your thumbnails are very important. Gino's Afro Cooking. So if you don't know how to make thumbnails, hire a graphic designer to help you make thumbnails. But you need really nice thumbnails on all of your videos. You also need to know how to use keywords on your videos. That's very important. So you can research about using SEO keywords and all of that. And just make sure you're shooting really nice videos and you have useful content. So those are a few tips. But yeah, I hope that helps. Thumbnails are very important. And your videos have to be high quality, and you have to catch the attention of the viewer in the first few seconds. But if you're just boring and they're looking at you and they're falling asleep, they're on to the next channel. So those are a few tips.
Yes, I mean, it definitely does transform that space to have the banner there and the thumbnail. So if you guys can go to search Dr. Teresa Bristol or Dr. Iyabo, I did pin our names in there. You can look at Dr. Yabo's YouTube channel. It is absolutely flawless. I'm learning from her, so I'm a work in progress, but I think mine looks a lot better than it did before I met her, and she taught me some good stuff. She got me connected with her graphic designer. So, yeah, so go subscribe at Dr. Yahoo and Dr. Teresa Bristol. Those are our Instagram handles, and you can search our names, Dr. Teresa Bristol and Dr. Yahoo, to find our YouTube channels to subscribe as well.
Yeah, and if you guys don't have any more questions, I will keep talking then to give you tips, since you guys want to talk about social media. if you want to elevate your social media, make sure you do video, okay? Make sure you do videos and make sure they're high quality videos. And if you need a coach to help you with public speaking, Dr. Bristol and I are quite good with public speaking. So, you know, as business coaches, you also have to be good with branding. So Dr. Bristol or myself, or whichever of us you want to hire, can also teach you good public speaking skills. I haven't always been this confident with public speaking, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. But you cannot elevate your online business if you don't have videos on your feed. You cannot. So you have to do videos, you have to do lives like we are doing, you have to do reels. You just have to keep talking so that you can make an intimate connection with your prospective clients. So videos are very important. And that's why I love YouTube, because I love you doing videos now.
Yeah, I'm getting there. It does take practice. It does take the right equipment. So get your ring lights, get your tripods, get your cell phone holders. Make sure you got a good space, a good background to do it all with. Guys, we're getting close to the end. I want to make sure I can save this video so we can actually post it on my YouTube channel.
Yes.
So you'll be able to see it there later if you want to go back if you missed something. We'll have the full video uploaded there shortly. I just want to let you guys know that I will be launching my online business course and also coaching packet here within the next few weeks. So you will have that opportunity to sign up for one-on-one coaching. I can help you build your business, start it, restructure it, help you, you know, channel in some energy to make what you have grow into something really amazing. Dr. Yabo also being here present, and she said she can do those things for you and even more as well. So you have a wealth of knowledge between the two of us. So please follow, subscribe, DM, like us on Facebook. We're all over. I also will have a children's book that will be published this summer.
Wonderful.
So look forward to sharing that with you guys. It will be hardback as well as ebook offered on Amazon. So keep watching out for great things in the future, and I'm wishing and hoping the very best and for great things beyond your imagination as well this year.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dr. Bristol. God bless you all. Thank you.
God bless. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.